thanks to the organizers of the conference for giving me this possibility to speak here. And all ammunition is on me now. I can begin. Well, I have to speak about a recent paper which I wrote with my Colombian pupil, Joel Restrepo. What was that? So the spaces A2, which are simply defined by the boundedness of this integral modulus f zeta p e lambda, let it be d lambda zeta, let it be the Lebesgue measure over the surface of the unit disk. Well, this is the 1 to pi, 1 divided by 2, the norm of f of a holomorphic function. So spaces A2 of holomorphic function in the unit disk were known for a very long time. Maybe it begins from the work of Biberbach of 1914, where he considered such functions with derivatives, the derivative satisfying this condition. Later, these spaces were considered by Wirtinger, an Austrian mathematician, in 1932. Well, where he found the representation and the orthogonal projection theorem for that spaces A2 without a weight. As to the weighted analogues of these spaces, where this Lebesgue measure is changed by, for instance, 1 minus modulus zeta in the degree alpha minus 1 e and what here? dx dy. And what is there? dx dq dy. Yes, dx dy. By this, such a weight. These were considered in 1945 by Jerbashyan. As to the misunderstanding related to these spaces, it is completely clarified in my last monograph in Birkhäuser. So other names do not relate to this. There were works of Bergman, who was considering such functions. I am sorry, here is 2. Such functions without a weight in some complicated domains which can have holes and so on. But of course he couldn't write down the kernel, the representing kernel, because of the complicated character of the geometry of such domains, which he considered. So he did what he could do, because all was known before him. Well, yes. Well, now, I'm considering some very, very far-going generalizations of these spaces, where I am writing mu, d mu. What is d mu? That is, yes, that is by rho, by the modulus. That is just d omega rho square. But by theta, it is not written. Yes, by theta, it is just d theta, nothing else. Okay? So the weight is by a radial weight. It is a radial weight. And I'm considering these AP omegas on for omegas which can have arbitrarily rapid decrease near 1. Look, if it is, this thing is decreasing when zeta is going to 1, then modulus f square can grow. Yeah? And this thing will remain bounded. So if we put an arbitrary function here and, well, give possibility to have arbitrary rate of decrease near 1, then to the considered spaces, the sum, the union of the considered spaces will coincide with the set of all functions holomorphic in the unit disk. So such general objects and something was possible. It was possible to obtain all the representations and to obtain even some things which were unknown in the simple case. These kernels, C omega kernels, they were known, they were the kernels of, these are the kernels of Mechitar Jerbashyan, my father. Well, and I wrote there that the union of these spaces coincides with the set of all functions holomorphic in the unit disk. Well, well, such representations, in this case, which was considered by Jerbashyan, he found these representations, but I found for arbitrary omega. These are the kernels of Jerbashyan, and the second representation, you saw it, you see it is a little different. It is even more useful than the first one, which was known. Well, the second representation is better because it is opening the door to consider harmonic functions. What is that C omega kernel? That is just z in order n divided by the moments of this function omega. Yeah. And if we put, for instance, this omega x is 1 minus x in order alpha minus 1, just, then we get the alpha plus 1 order of the Cauchy kernel, nothing else. If we take such an operator, integral operator, very simple, then this is becoming the Riemann-Liouville integral integration when omega is of such type. But it is more general, well, and what is the situation that, please, this formula. When we apply this L omega to C omega, we get the ordinary Cauchy kernel. Well, for such representations, the obvious orthogonal projection was proved. When P is 2, then this operator is giving the orthogonal projection of this class of space of Hilbert space of holomorphic functions to the Hilbert space of Lebesgue space 2 over the surface of the unit disk. What was new? Well, I could find some isometry, which was unknown for this A2 omega spaces. So this theorem, let omega tilde be of some class which I defined earlier, be continuously differentiable. Let omega tilde be decreasing, omega 1 be 0, omega 0 be 1. And let omega without tilde be its Volterra square. I mean this. Then the space A2 omega coincides with all functions which can be written in this form. And look here, the integration is over the boundary, not over the surface. And here is C omega tilde. So the class is this, the kernel is this. And this kernel, in a sense, is better. Well, this is isometry. This is the isometry operator. And the converse isometry, this is the converse isometry. Very simple. Well, this was unknown. Some steps to this, were done in the work of Mehtar Jerbashyan in 1948. Well, so this. After that, a natural question was to find some analogues of this, if it is possible. So this is for P is 2, and we have a good-looking result. And what can be proved when P is not 2? Is more or equal than 1 and less than infinity and not 2. Can we prove something about the bounded projection? Well, of AP omega to the Hardy space HP in the disk. So such an operator, this operator, so this is the bounded projection, and the norm is this. Is bounded by that. For P is 1, the situation is even more simple because this omega 1 is just this. Well, but I considered not only in the unit disk these weighted spaces were considered also in the half plane, where the apparatus of the Taylor series was changed by the apparatus of Fourier Laplace transform, and in the whole plane, complex plane. So I have shown that isometry theorems with the Hardy space H2 were proved also for A2 omega spaces in the half plane and for A2 omega spaces of entire functions. So such theorems about any P not 2 were natural to try to find also for that other spaces A, P, omega. So the spaces A, P, omega, gamma in the upper half plane, they are defined by these two conditions. Why? Why two conditions? Why just not to write the integral over the integral of this type without the denominator and finish by that? You know why? Because if here I am giving a possibility to this omega to d omega become identically 0 after some place. So if I write such an integral by such omegas, which I permit to be, then the integral would be over some strip only, and the condition near the infinity would be unavoidable. So some Nevanlina type condition I put here. So this is the Nevanlina condition, but a little changed. Well, so I am introducing these spaces, then I am considering the representation, etc. These things were found for any gamma, but later things were found only for gamma is 0. So no denominator, and this 2. Or omega is good function, and only this without the denominator. Well, the operator is this, L omega. The kernel is that Laplace transform, and in the denominator is another Laplace transform. Well, Well, applying L omega to C omega, again we get the Cauchy kernel. Well, no, HP is that well-known HP in the half plane. Two representations are found. The orthogonal projection, so on, and they are proved. And then the isometry is proved. Isometry is of this type. So I am saying that these omegas are such that they can have, so when we are coming to 0, in the half axis 0 plus infinity, when we are coming to 0, it can have any rate of decrease. When we are going to infinity, it is like t in order alpha. So it is being estimated from above and from below by t in order alpha by different constants. Well, again, isometry by the real axis. By the real axis, and isometry with the H2 Hardy. And the converse, this is the isometry, this is the converse isometry. The norm of this thing, phi 0, is equal in H2 Hardy, is equal to the norm of F in A2 omega tilde. Okay? Isometry. Well, and then again a question, can we prove something for any t? And we can. What is that? This is the bounded operator projection from AT omega to HP in the half plane, because the techniques is related to that Fourier Laplace transforms. Well, and so much more down for the whole plane, going for the whole plane. So let us define for the entire functions in the same way as for the disk. But for the integral is over the whole complex plane, finite complex plane. All the things are the same. Well, it seems that they are like the same. And again, we'll go please down. The operator is this. That is plus infinity. Well, and then these are two formulas. Orthogonal projection is being realized by the first formula, as in the all cases. Well, and then the isometry theorem, again with the Hardy space in the unit disk. This is the isometry theorem, Volterra square, and so on. And then the same question, when p is not 2, can we prove something? We can. In the case when, yes, statements of this theorem are true when omega prime is this and so on, and then we are getting a representation where C omega infinity is the Mittag-Leffler function. So, well, and then going down. If p is not 2, then what we can say? So we are defining some things and setting some conditions, and after that, please down. After that, we are getting this. So this operator is bounded operator from LP IAP omega to HP, and it is a bounded projection. For p is 1, the situation is even more simple. So this was all what I wanted to tell. Thank you.